Hi guys, so I am on another hot girl walk and there is a million people on the trail, so I'm going to do my best to avoid as many people as I can, but there's only so much I could do. So today I kind of want to talk about, I know him. Jesus Christ, there's so many people. I'm going to be so overstimulated.
It's that one.
So I kind of want to talk about how to spot a liar, because last video we talked about like cheating and things like that, but we have not talked about how to spot a liar, and that's a big part of cheating. And so I feel like I'm really good at, I have really good discernment, and I feel like me being very perceptive and obviously psychic has really helped me figure out the signs that someone's lying. I think the biggest one for me always is eye contact. Just recently I was talking to somebody and every time they talked to me, their eyes were like darting around the room, like refused to look at me, or even in my direction. And what they were saying was clearly them trying to engage and be interested in the conversation, and they were continuing the conversation, but their body language said elsewise or otherwise. And I feel like that's a big takeaway. I also think like your arms being crossed and sort of how you're facing, if they're not even facing you, they're usually placating you, from my experience, where they're just trying to find a way out of the conversation and just saying whatever they need to say to keep it going or get out or whatever they're looking to do. Because sometimes people will talk to you just to kill time or to make someone jealous, especially if it's at a bar. That happens to me constantly. I also think when it comes to body language, I feel like there's like this like twinkle in people's eyes when they're actually, interested and telling the truth, and when they're lying, they're almost like dull. Another way to spot a liar is listen to the stories that they tell. Obviously, if they're a victim in every story and they don't admit their wrongdoings, that means that they're probably the one that is to blame. But other than that, another thing you should be listening to is how much they talk about others versus themselves. I've noticed a lot of liars are not really vulnerable. They don't really talk about themselves. So they'll ask more questions about you, or they'll talk more about other people in their lives, but they're not inclined to talk about themselves or release information. Also, if you ask questions, a lot of times they don't elaborate. They kind of keep it short and succinct, which is usually a way of hiding. Another thing is, are they alone? Because I feel like if people are alone, they're more likely to exaggerate or manipulate or lie. Whereas if they're in a group of people or a group of friends, they probably don't want to embarrass themselves, even if their friends don't call them out. They probably don't want to embarrass themselves by making something up or lying or leading someone on or whatever it's going to be. So I feel like it really matters if they're alone or not. If they are alone, I would also say pay attention to their interactions with people around them. So like if they are, let's say you're at a bar, right? Or you're at a restaurant or wherever you are, a coffee shop. Are they conscious of the people around them? Because I feel like people who are liars do one of two things. Either they're completely oblivious to the people around them and don't care, or they like to kind of bother everyone around them and constantly like diverting away from themselves into the random people that are around them, like diverting attention away from themselves. Like if they're talking too much to like the staff or something, but you were just talking to them, so it's weird and awkward. Or if they're overly talkative. A lot of times, yeah, sure, it could be charm, but sometimes it's literally just someone who is not necessarily the greatest person. I know in my experience, I feel like I can always tell when someone's lying, but you can't act on it right away. You kind of have to let the liar lie, because if you act on it right away, then they think you're crazy because you don't have proof. So you kind of just have to trap the liar in their lie, or let the liar lie and protect yourself, guard yourself, especially if it's in dating. When I see someone who's like clearly a fucking liar and they're interested in dating me, I protect my heart, guard my heart, and I make sure that I don't give too much, because those people, they will chew you up and spit you out. Jesus Christ. More like lightweight version of me. Okay. A bunch of men just fucking steamrolled me. Look at all of them. What the fuck? Dude, he almost tripped and took me down with him. What the fuck? There was like 25 of them just like running. I don't even know if I got that on camera, because I wasn't even filming. God. See, now I got an attitude. See, this video was going so well, and now I'm pissed. I guess being trampled by a bunch of hot shirtless men is not the worst way to die. Another way to spot a liar is to pay attention to their job and what they do for a living. If someone's in sales, they're very skilled at communication. They can be very sly with their words. Whereas if someone's a chef, they might be better with their hands than their mouth. Another thing to keep in mind with their job is you can find their baseline. So, hold on, this music pisses me off. Ask them stuff about their job. Like, let's say they're a chef, right? Ask them about what got them into it, or how they cook their favorite dish, or what their favorite dish is. Or ask them something that, you know, is hobby related that they love, so you can see how bright they shine when they talk about something or someone that they love. That way you can get their baseline of how they are when they're telling the truth and when they're talking about things that they absolutely love. On the flip side, you can also see how they are when they're a little upset or perturbed at something, so you can ask about relationships, exes. It tells you some of their switches up in their body language that they'll have when they talk about something they don't particularly care for or enjoy. But you have to be subtle, obviously. Don't just be like blunt about it. You have to be kind of like a little bit more, I guess, sneaky about the way you ask that question. Otherwise, they will just brush it over and be like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. No, you gotta find a way to relate to them. Be like, oh yeah, I've been struggling with my ex, you know, they've been really bothering me, even if you don't have an ex. But you lie too, the fuck? It's okay when we lie, because what? The rules don't apply to us. No, but it's more along the lines of stretching the truth to see if, you know, what their baseline is. Maybe they're paying attention too. And they're like, oh, you're a liar. And you're like, damn, you are perceptive. No, but yeah, just people like to talk to others who connect on the same thing, who have similarities. So find something similar to pull at that string and gain that information. I feel like every conversation I have is an interview, and they don't know they're being interviewed. You have to be careful, because people are not, I think by nature people are selfish. At their core, they're selfish. I think most lying is really due to prioritizing themselves over everyone else, even at the inconvenience of others. So it's not always malicious, but you should kind of figure out what their selfish level is, because if it's too high, run. By the way, I have literally seen probably over 200 guys that are hot, shirtless, tall, buff, with ripped like abs, everything on this walk. And let me just say to the straight women who live in Austin, who are single, who complain about dating, try being gay. At least the men that are like treating you like shit here are hot as fuck. Okay? The gays here treat you like shit, and they ain't that cute. Like, these men, they're all gorgeous, and they all like hike and jog and have dogs and play with their dogs and shit. They're always just like doing crazy shit that's like outdoorsy. So, I don't know, I feel like, see look, I feel like complaining about dating when you have men like that all over the city, golden hour. Let me get a video. That's a boat tour. So you can take that boat under the bridge and they basically sit there until all the bats come out, the bat bridge. It's kind of cool, but there's like thousands and thousands of bats and it takes forever for all of them to come out. Sometimes they don't come out. Sometimes they'd be waiting in the water forever, but you can just walk under the bridge. You don't have to sit in the boat. Anyways, the moral of the story is test people before they test you. Try not to trust too easily and just listen. I think the biggest thing that people forget to do is to pay attention and listen, because people tell you who they are when you first meet them. Believe them. Don't give them excuses or a way out. Let them explain themselves. Also, this is the bat bridge. There are people waiting already for them to come out from under here.